Imagine facing the end of life without any fear. As a death doula, I'm here to show you how preparing now can bring you peace, clarity, and even joy in your final moments. And yes, I'm getting over a cold, so please excuse me. Let's talk about how planning for death today can give you a little bit of peace and sanity around this much sensitive topic. The number one fear across the whole world is death. And the second one is public speaking. Now, when it comes to overcoming a fear of something, educating ourselves is the number one thing that we can do to combat that fear. And chances are you really haven't planned or prepared for end of life. Maybe you've gotten a will done or you've gotten a life insurance policy, but that's not really planning. And so in planning, it can help alleviate some of that fear. Not only will it give you clarity, but it will give the people around you who love you and care for you clarity as well. And oftentimes mitigating the unknown surrounding end of life, decisions, where you want the things, how you want the things, your boundaries surrounding this will help with that fear. Another thing that you can plan to do is legacy planning. So legacy planning in itself is how you want to be remembered and what you want to leave behind in this world going forward after you're gone. Planning is going to help mitigate the unknown, and it kind of gives you control. The last thing that we want is the loss of control, especially at end of life. And so when we know what kind of legacy we want to leave, the more ability we have to stay in control and allow our true souls to be carried forward in this life. Maybe you want to open up a library or a garden or create a nonprofit, and that's all stuff that we can still do. It's just a matter of communicating that to the people who are in our lives to help with our legacy. And another thing that this really helps with planning is our emotional and spiritual well-being. Listen, talking about death and dying is really scary, uncomfortable, but it's not going to make the anxieties and the fears go away by not talking about it. Now, death is a universal experience, and for some of us, it is really scary to talk about because we just don't want to go there quite yet. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, I don't know. I just don't want to talk about it, Beth. But when it comes to our own emotional and spiritual well-being, being able to have these conversations and what we want to do as far as planning wise gives us a little bit of control when it comes to that. And not only that, but it allows us to surrender to the process, that this is a part of the process, and then gives us the acceptance that we need in order to move through those complicated feelings. And doing all this planning can help us create a more fulfilling life, knowing that we are leaving a meaningful mark, even if it's just to us in our immediate circle. Now, I mentioned that I'm a death doula and that I'm here to help support. Talking about death can be a really emotional experience, and having a third party or a neutral person to help guide those conversations is really important, and that's where a death doula can help. It doesn't necessarily have to be a death doula. It's just someone who is comfortable with having these conversations and is able to think about this in a more factual and present sort of thought process rather than an emotionally charged expression process. Thanks for hanging tough with me with this conversation. If you've made it this far, please drop in the comments how planning has helped you and your anxiety and your fears and how it's impacted your family so that others can see and not be so scared, because again, community is where we gain our courage. So I hope you're being good to yourself. Lots of love. Bye.